Okay, great. Thank you very much for answering in the chat box. Hello everyone. Welcome. So we're going to start the webinar. I did a sound check a few minutes ago and everyone could hear me. Is that still okay? Yeah? Okay, great. Thank you very much for answering in the chat box. Okay, so we're going to start the webinar now. Welcome everyone. It is really nice to see so many countries represented everywhere. That's really nice to see, so many nationalities. So this is the first seminar of a series of 6 webinars that you can join. I would ask you to keep questions and comments for the end, please. I will not use the raising hand tool. Don't have enough time for this, but and the camera, no need for that. No need to worry if you can't see me. I will just speak in order to show you the presentation. So I will show you the presentation at the same time. Okay? You have no audio, I can see. So a lot of people can hear me perfectly, so if you can't hear me, it's probably your audio you should fix. Yeah, lots of people tell me that everything is fine, so you should turn your audio up or use headphones probably. Okay, good. So as I was saying, yeah, please keep your questions and comments for the end. I will give you some time for some discussion time at the end. So we'll just start maybe with a short introduction about myself. My name is Cami Petrov. Yes, I've been teaching English for 5 years now, and I started initially in secondary schools and studied switch to EFL teaching 2 years ago. So I'm currently working at EF Bristol, and I've been teaching there for a year and a half. Yeah, 2 years. So today we're going to look at English for academic purposes. I've been teaching English for academic purposes for a few months, and I have to admit it was quite challenging at the beginning because I thought it was way more serious, not as entertaining, not as fun, I'm sure a lot of you would agree, than other classes. Definitely quite serious and quite not as entertaining as other classes, definitely. So I have progressively started to incorporate things that I do in my other classes in order to teach academic English in a more communicative way. And that is what I will show you today in this webinar, how to incorporate the communicative approach that EFL teaching has into an academic English class that can be more serious. Okay. So I wanted to start this seminar. I will go on to the next slide. I wanted to start this webinar by showing you answers of my students that they gave me when I asked them why they chose this class. One of the most common one, the first one and the most common one, was this one over here. I wanted to be prepared for university. So of course that's the aim of English for academic purposes, to prepare our students for university life and university studies. The second answer I had was maybe something a bit more specific over here to the right. I want to learn more academic vocabulary in order to write better essays. So something quite specific, something that was challenging for them. Then I had two series of two answers over here that were quite interesting because they were not really maybe coming from students who didn't really know why they chose this. I want to stress as well that at EF, at Education First, our academic English class is an optional class, but I appreciate the fact that many of you have academic classes as part of your year curriculum. So in EF, because it's an optional class, some students decided to choose it, but as you can see here, I'm not so sure, but it looked hard and I'm a very good student. Or I want to be challenged and do serious stuff. So you're gonna tell me, probably, why should we incorporate communicative activities if our students want to do serious things, if they want to be challenged and do university type lessons? Well, there is a simple reason. There is quite a simple reason, and this is the following. In the UK and in Ireland, in the last few years, there has been a shift, a massive shift at university in the way we approached academic teaching. Academic teaching is more communicative than has never been before. Students are encouraged to work in pairs, in groups, in workshops. They often work with students from different disciplines as well, and lots of communicative work. That is why at EF, but also within your schools, the EFL teaching style is completely suited to preparing our students to the academic world of university. So of course, I can hear you say, of course, it's important to have academic aims. You should always draw back your students to academic aims. But there is always a way to make it communicative and achieve the same aims, but in a more, in a fun way, if you want to say it like that. So as part of the discussion at the end, you will be able to tell me if you feel that there is a shift as well in university in your countries towards a more communicative approach than it used to be in the past. But I will give you some time at the end. Okay. So I will show you the outline of the webinar now, what I will follow. I will pretty much give you ideas and of activities. So what I will do is giving you a set of ideas for icebreakers, then we'll go on to warmers, and then we'll go over skill lessons, so we'll go over writing, reading, listening, and then I will merge speaking with presentations. I can see that someone's asking if we can download this outline or the webinar later. Yes, you will be able to listen to the recording again later. Don't worry if you can't take a lot of notes. You will be able to listen to it again. Okay, so we're going to start with icebreakers then. First icebreaker I wanted to share with you, something that I use at the beginning obviously of a course for students to get to know each other, to find out more about their interests, myself. So that would be using a name tag on a post-it note, something quite simple, or if you have name tags, even better. With in the center of the name tag, obviously your name, if you want to make it a little bit more communicative, having maybe a doctor, a professor, as I'm showing here in the middle. Then fields of studies in the left hand corner. For myself it is English and American literature and history. And also, to make it a little bit more personal, your favorite hobby in the bottom right corner, listening to live music, for example, for myself. So yeah, this name tag gives a student give the student 5 minutes to create it, and then you're gonna ask the students to mingle for a good 10-15 minutes. You want them to talk to each other, to talk to as many students as they can. And what I find nice is just putting some jazz music in the background, something that's is quite suited to maybe trying to imitate conference tea time at university. So a bit of music in the background. Jazz music is good because they can chat at the same time without too much interruptions, and at the end you just ask the students to introduce one another to the class and to me, because the most important thing in the end is for them to know each other first, but also for me to know their interests, to know their field of studies in order to tailor my course around it. I want to find videos that interest them, I want to make it more engaging for them, and I don't want to impose my interest on them. Okay, so I'm going to show you another something else that I do at the beginning of a course. It's not really an icebreaker or a communicative activity, but I just wanted to share it with you today because it is something that I think is really useful. Needs analysis. I am sure some of you might have done needs analysis for their students before, for themselves even. The aims of these are to know exactly what your students want. You don't want, again, like the interest, like the fields of studies, you don't want to do something that they know already, and you don't want to, you want it to be tailored to their needs. So the first question is quite simple. Why did you choose this SPIN class? As I explained in the first slide. SPIN, don't worry about this term, is just how we call optional classes at EF, special interest classes. That's what we call them. What are your expectations for this class? Quite an open question. And then I show them this list of skills. So it's quite interesting to see for me what really exactly they want to achieve in this course, and what are the two skills that are the most important for them and the two that are the least important. You want it to be, of course they're going to have different ones depending on their field of studies. As scientific students is going to be interested in writing shorter essays than a student studying arts. And it is quite interesting to have something like that. So this is going to be very useful for your planning because you will consider lesson aims accordingly to their needs. Okay, so this is not communicative, but again, this is to prepare even better your whole course. So now we'll go on to warmers. Okay, so the first warmer I want to share with you is something that I did last week. I called it Writing with Passion, and I used emoticons, so emojis. So that was the instructions I gave to my students. Here are some of the emoticons you have on WhatsApp messages, and I asked them to tell their partners which emojis they would be most likely to use when texting or emailing, and which ones they would not use at all.